From the depths of ancient lore to the pages of modern tales, these oldest evils come from ancient myths, showing us the battle between right and wrong and teaching us about the power of choices. Get ready to dive into the adventures and secrets of these fascinating and powerful beings. Asmodus. Asmodus represents the danger of letting our desires control us. His name comes from the ancient religion of Zoroastrianism, meaning something like wrath demon. Asmodus is famous in stories from Judaism to Christianity, especially for causing trouble in love and marriage. For example, in the Book of Tobit, he stops Sarah from getting married by killing her 7 husbands. He is also one of the 7 princes of hell, each of whom stands for one of the 7 deadly sins. Asmodus is the one for lust. He tries to get people to commit sexual sins, ruin marriages, and lure them into affairs. Over time, people have pictured him in different ways, like having 3 heads or riding a lion with dragon wings. His story is not just about scaring people, it's also used to teach lessons about fighting our lower desires for spiritual growth. This idea is shown in medieval stories where defeating Asmodus is like winning against our worst traits. Asmodus isn't just in old tales. He shows up in modern stories, TV, and games too, keeping the warning against lust alive today. He's also said to be married to Lilith, another demon, and together they create chaos with their demon children. This shows how stories of Asmodus mix with other demon tales to teach about the consequences of bad actions. Artists and writers often give him traits like a rooster leg or a dragon to ride, which symbolize his role as the demon of lust and his powerful, scary nature. Through all these stories and images, Asmodus teaches us about the importance of controlling our desires and the dangers of giving in to them. Asteroth. Asteroth is known as a big boss in hell, famous for being both interesting and dangerous because of his connection to knowledge and wisdom. This character comes from ancient goddesses named Astarte and Ishtar, and has become a key figure in stories about demons. He's known for tricking people with laziness, vanity, and smart-sounding ideas that go against traditional religious beliefs. He's often shown as a powerful duke who looks like a scary angel, rides a dragon, and holds a snake. This image shows he's in charge and can tempt people with his knowledge. Asteroth can control 40 groups of demons and knows a lot about the past, present, and future, including where to find hidden stuff and secrets. Asteroth has a special symbol, or sigil, that people use to call him during rituals. This sigil, with its complex shapes and mysterious symbols, represents his qualities and powers. Even though Asteroth is usually seen as bad news, he's also appreciated for the good stuff he offers, like insights and pushing people to learn more. He shows the tricky balance between wanting to know more and the risks that can come with it. He's also connected to Venus and air, which ties him to love, beauty, and smart conversation. These links show his ability to sway and trick people, reminding us that knowledge can be both helpful and harmful. In today's stories, books, and movies, Asteroth appears in different ways, sometimes as a villain and sometimes as a wise guide. This shows how much people are drawn to the risky knowledge he symbolizes. People still do rituals and make offerings to Asteroth, showing a deep interaction with the world of demons and spirits. These actions underline the complex relationship between humans and supernatural beings, where learning and power come with big spiritual and moral questions. Baal. This demon has a history that goes from being worshipped as a god to being seen as a demon. In the past, people in Canaan and Phoenicia prayed to Baal for rain and good crops because they believed he could control the weather and help their farms. Later on, Christian stories changed his image to one of the top bosses in hell, showing how old pagan beliefs mixed with Christian ideas about demons. In these demon stories, Baal is shown with 3 heads, a cat, a toad, and a man. This weird look is meant to show he has power over different parts of the world, both seen and unseen. He's said to be able to make people invisible, which probably means he can help them avoid trouble rather than actually disappear. Baal is a big deal in hell, leading 66 groups of demons, which shows there's a whole system of ranks and roles among demons. To call Baal, people use a special symbol, or sigil, which is like a direct line to him. This process is very serious and needs to be done carefully, showing that dealing with such powerful beings is risky, but can also offer rewards like wisdom and the ability to influence people. Baal is linked to the sun and fire, which highlights his strong, life-changing power. Gold, which is Baal's metal, stands for wealth and success, and the rituals to honor him often involve giving him drinks or burning special incense to make him happy and get his help. In modern stories, movies, and games, Baal often shows up as a big villain or a mysterious figure, keeping his story alive in our imagination today. Paymon. Okay, so imagine Paymon as this super genius demon dude who's all about the brainy side of life. He's the kind of character who'd be into all sorts of nerdy stuff like arts, sciences, and especially the things your mom probably told you to stay away from. Picture him as the ultimate teacher, but with a twist. He's teaching the kind of lessons that are so secret, they're almost taboo. This makes him super intriguing because, let's face it, everyone loves a good mystery, or a peek behind the curtain of the unknown. Now, Paymon's not just any regular Joe with a library card. His voice booms like a megaphone, making sure you know he's got the authority in the world of knowledge. It's as if his voice is saying, "Listen up, I know what I'm talking about, and you'd better pay attention." But here's the kicker. Paymon is a bit of a diva. He won't just spill the beans unless you're willing to pay up, kind of like that friend who has the scoop, but wants something in return before they spill the tea. This idea that you've got to give something to get something, especially when it comes to forbidden knowledge, really makes you wonder, is knowing the secret worth the price? Through Paymon's story, we really get into the nitty-gritty of why humans are so drawn to the stuff they're not supposed to know. It's like when you see a do not push button, and you just gotta push it. His tale taps into our love for mysteries and the sometimes tricky decisions we face when curiosity calls. It's all about the allure of the unknown and the sometimes steep price of peeking behind the curtain. Valfar. Moving on to Valfar, imagine him as the big boss of the underworld's sneakiest department, thievery. This guy's role is all about tempting folks into swiping stuff that's not theirs. It's kind of like he's whispering over your shoulder, "Go on, take it, no one will know." But it's not just about the stealing. It's the weird sense of camaraderie and honor among thieves that he's nurturing. Think of it as a club where everyone's breaking the rules, but somehow they've got their own set of rules inside the rule breaking. It's bizarre but fascinating. Valfar is like that friend who's super loyal, always has your back until you cross them. Then suddenly, it's like you never knew each other. This flip from buddy to enemy highlights how shaky alliances can be when they're built on dodgy foundations. Commanding a whole army of 10 legions of demons, Valfar's not just a small-time crook, he's organized, showing there's a method to the madness. It's a peek into how even in the world of wrongdoing, there's a sort of structure, like a shadowy reflection of our own society's attempts to understand and categorize what's considered bad. Belphegor. So there's this demon named Belphegor, and his whole vibe is about being super lazy but still wanting all the cash. Imagine him as that friend who's always looking for the easy way out, trying to get rich quick without doing much. Belphegor's like the ultimate bad influence in this scenario, whispering ideas for cool gadgets or inventions in your ear that could make you rich overnight. The catch? You start thinking you don't need to work hard at all to get what you want. This dude's story is pretty much a big flashing warning sign about the dangers of being too lazy and getting too caught up in wanting to be wealthy without putting in the effort. It taps into this big debate we all have about wanting to do well for ourselves, but also knowing deep down that hard work is part of the deal. Belphegor's sneaky temptation game is all about testing people's willpower to see if they'll ditch their good sense for a shortcut to success. It's a classic tale of being careful what you wish for, and remembering that there's no real substitute for rolling up your sleeves and getting stuff done. Leviathan. Then there's Leviathan, this massive sea monster that's all about envy. Picture the biggest, scariest thing you can think of in the ocean, and that's Leviathan. This creature is a symbol for when people get so jealous, they might as well be stirring up a storm in the sea of life. Leviathan is like a reminder of how powerful and scary nature can be, especially the parts we don't see or understand, kind of like how envy can sneak up on us in ways we don't expect. In stories, Leviathan's not just hanging out and scaring sailors, it's showing us how envy can be as big and destructive as a monster at sea. This big fish is a metaphor for the chaos that jealousy can cause, messing up not just one person's day, but potentially throwing a whole community into disarray. It's like when someone can't stand that their neighbor got a new car, and then things get out of hand because they're so focused on what someone else has. Leviathan's tale is a big, ocean-sized warning about keeping our green-eyed monsters in check, reminding us that letting envy run the show can lead to a whole lot of trouble, not just for us, but for everyone around us. Hit like and subscribe. What do you think about these devils? Which one caught your attention the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what other myths or magical beings you're curious about. Stay tuned for more exciting journeys into the world of myths and legends.